The 23-year journey of Ian Mackie's vision to bring about national Christian radio across the UK finally became a reality this week, as United Christian Broadcasters began airing on digital radio right across the nation for the very first time.
So it is the 1st of December and you're listening to UCB DAB across the nation. Yes, we launched today, so it doesn't matter.
When Mackie first stepped out on this mammoth task, he faced many obstacles, particularly from the British government, that had no legislation for Christians to even apply for a national or local radio licence of any kind. And even if they could, there just weren't enough FM or AM frequencies available. As UCB's CEO celebrated with his staff this historic breakthrough this week, he reflected on the major challenges he faced when this long journey first began in 1986.
We were stuck with nowhere to go. We had this vision given by God, but legislatively there was no place to go, and as far as frequencies were concerned, there was no place to go either.
9 years later, UCB moved into their broadcast centre here in Stoke-on-Trent, while still lobbying the government to change legislation to allow national Christian radio. Ian says there were many times when he was ready to give up on his vision, but a significant word from the Lord kept him going.
I'm going to come back and move again in revival power right throughout this land, and I want national Christian radio there to feed, sustain and nurture all of the hundreds of thousands of new believers who are going to come to faith in Jesus Christ.
And Mackie says as UCB persisted, they started seeing answered prayers as a number of changes in government legislation and the emergence of digital radio started opening the doors to begin broadcasting regionally across certain parts of the UK. But finally last month, Ofcom, the British radio regulator, told him they'd been granted a national digital radio licence to begin from the 1st of December. He describes the moment Ofcom informed him of this over the phone.
And I had the phone in my hand and I just shouted down the phone and shouted, "Praise God!" Absolutely amazing, the feeling to actually finally hear the words that UCB has been granted approval to broadcast. And it's still surreal to me, even after a few weeks of actually having been informed, and even as we sit here today, now broadcasting nationally, it's a surreal feeling, and it's going to take a while to actually still sink in that the first part of the vision has been fulfilled.
Mackie explains the significance national Christian radio will now have for the UK.
Now we move on to the second promise, which is revival. And God says he is going to move again in revival power right throughout our nation. And that's what we've now got to plan for, that's what we've now got to work for, that's what we've now got to figure out, how we are going to resource this coming revival.
Ian's story acts as an inspiration to many of what one man's perseverance to fulfil God's vision for his life can achieve. Peter Wooding for CBN News, Stoke-on-Trent, England.